Hi, it's Bradley J. Good to be with you. Today we go to New Hampshire, Maine, and Provincetown, Massachusetts. Started off in New Hampshire, some pretty cool cabins in Franconia, well, near Franconia. As you can see, pretty nice cabin on the exterior. Nice fire pit right by the babbling brook, which you could hear from inside the cabin. And there's Molly. Molly went on all these trips. She did pretty well. She likes warmth, so she likes the fireplace, the fire pit, I should say. I love campfires and fireplaces. Shannon and Molly and I spent a lot of time just sitting by that fire. And as the evening fell, the warmth didn't have to stop because there was a fireplace in the cabin. The next day, it's Franconia Notch and Echo Lake. That's pretty darn beautiful, I have to say. I've always loved the area and always loved Maine and Provincetown, Massachusetts. But for some reason, I love them even more now. Maybe it's the hassles or the potential hassles of flying. For a lot of people who want to go overseas, Europe, etc., they'll put up with flying hassles. But for me, flying is part of the experience. And if the flying part is a hassle, then I'm not so keen on going. I used to love flying so much, but it just is not the same. A recent experience with an airline kind of put me off the whole thing for a while. Still in Franconia Notch. The highway runs right through here. The speed limit does lower, but this is right off the highway. This is on Sugar Hill in Franconia, and these are lupins. We went there and checked it out. Had to be very careful of ticks. We are always very careful of ticks with Molly. Molly enjoyed it. There was some other woman with a big black dog who she took bounding through those lupins, and I imagine that dog got a lot of ticks on him or her. This is Maine, on Deer Island, Maine. I'm not a big beach guy. I don't need a lot of sand. The water came right up to the deck. At high tide, the water was way under the deck. It's a working fishing village. And it was very pleasant how sparsely populated it was even then. Not a tourist place at all. I did a little fishing and, as usual, did no catching. On day 2, it was a very foggy, misty day, which I love. I'm definitely not a sun person, so if I can be at the beach without the sun, that's a big bonus. Here's how small this town is. This is midday in June, and not a lot of traffic at all. There's a coffee place and an ice cream shop that sells, well, they had a really nice smoked haddock sandwich and lobster rolls, yes. On the way back, the three of us stopped at the Penobscot Narrows Bridge, and it has the highest bridge observatory in the world, as I understand it. It's pretty high, 446 feet high, 2,119 feet long, and pretty deep, actually. At high tide, 88 feet deep in the deep part, and it has, I think, an 11-foot tidal shift in the depth. Notice that line of foam about 3/4 of the way to the right? Well, that's the line between the incoming tide current and the outgoing river current. The tide current is stronger and is therefore dominant. So the water's going one way on one side and another way on the other side. And then, after a one-night stop at home, it's off to Provincetown, Massachusetts via the ferry. We love Boston Harbor and the ocean, being on the ocean, and Provincetown. So that's what we do. We don't drive. We take the ferry. Get to a restaurant that has an outdoor part early near the beach. Grab a good table and just hang out. This is Molly. Molly seems to be having a good time. Let's see. Is she wagging her tail? Looks like she might be. Oh, yeah. Go, Molly. Go, Molly, go. There are lots of places like this in Provincetown. It's a great vibe. I didn't do much but sit on the porch, which is exactly what the plan was. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel and get notified of new posts. And as always, travel lightly.